Man, what is going on, y'all? Here we are. You know what I'm saying? It's the dynamic duo. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nobody here to, you know what I'm saying, to keep us in line today. So we
Oh
might
yeah.
get a little out of control this episode. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our
Trust.
girl Trisha Michelle, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, in her absence. But you know what I'm saying? We might get a little bit out of control, but y'all already know what it is. You tapped into the 5 session, no scripts, just the truth. It's February still, so we are celebrating Black History Month all month long. You know what I'm talking about? Let's turn up the heat. Man, so it's a wild week, man. Every day is something different, right? I've been saying this a lot lately, man. If you follow me on social media, you might have seen it here and there. Every day, something happens that makes me look at people and listen to people and say, "Yep, aliens do exist. Aliens definitely exist."
Cereal with no milk.
Yeah, see, here's another alien right there. That's an alien right there. Just saying, you know what I'm saying, random stuff. That's a sign that somebody might be an alien when they just start saying random stuff
That guy's definitely an alien.
because they're malfunctioning.
Ramen noodles with no seasoning packet.
Now, when he said that, you know what I'm saying, finesse two times is who we're referring to on social media. He said that I have no reference point of that because I don't even eat ramen noodles. I don't think I've ever had them. But if I did have them, I'm definitely not eating them without the seasoning packet. Like that's too deep in the trenches for me, bro.
I ate noodles with no packet. Cereal with the canned milk.
Pancakes with no syrup.
Nah, see, that's the type of stuff that you see, you know what I'm saying, dudes do back in the day and like elementary school when you when you in there eat that free breakfast before school start and they run out of syrup and boys just in there eating just raw pancake.
Cereal with no milk.
Hey, taking a raw
I'm just saying.
pancake to the face is wild work.
Just dough. just dough. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Like, I know some people have been in the struggle, but yeah, syrup sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? Mayonnaise sandwiches. You know what I'm talking about? Cereal. What your Fruit Loops. But ramen noodles with no seasoning.
Mm-mm.
That's nasty work. Cause all you can do is eat them like chips.
Nah,
Just
well,
kind of
I
break
mean,
them
but
up.
you can warm them up. You can put them in water. They just don't have no seasoning on them.
Ooh, man, that's like eating cardboard.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
worse than eating pancakes with no syrup.
well, it's eating cardboard with the seasoning on it. That's why I don't eat them. But hey, not to knock none of y'all out there. Y'all enjoy y'all ramen noodles or whatever kind of noodles y'all eat, but I don't partake in that. So you know what I'm saying.
No milk.
Y'all enjoy. I
No
don't mess
milk.
with that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah, that's nasty work. But just had to mention that because there's few, alien-esque things there. We don't know what aliens eat, bro. I'm telling you, we don't know.
Well, yeah, we definitely don't know, but we do know that they exist because when you walk around here and you see some of the way some of these people's looking, you know what I'm saying, and they facial features and stuff, you like, yeah, I
You're a
don't
little
know. I'm doubting. I'm doubting. This is real Men in Blackish.
yeah, yeah. There's some stuff going on. I think we done hit the cloning stage. I think, yeah, I totally believe it. But again, I gotta make you mention of this because robots and robot chicks, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be a phenomenon. It's gonna be a problem real soon. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll have to believe it when I see it, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking about robots for decades. So, it's slowly coming along, but I think we're still a pretty good ways off. I think by the time we become old men, maybe in our 60s or 70s,
Yep.
that's about the time where you will start seeing, you know what I'm saying, the prominence of robots being around, maybe, in every household where they got like a Rosie from the Jetsons, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, helping clean up and task and stuff like that. But I think we're a little bit far away from that right now.
It's gonna be quite interesting, fam. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, it's gonna be quite interesting.
facts. All right, before we jump in, we got to make sure our people is good. Trisha Michelle is not with us today. She handling some business. She making
Go
sure
ahead.
she making sure she got some things popping out there. So shout out to her. But Benji Banks, the man, the brand. You good, my guy?
I'm good, man. Like you know me. I'm cool as ice, twice as nice, and ain't never had a bad day in my life. You know what I'm saying? I just be cooling, bro. You know what I'm saying? If my blood pressure get a little bit too high, you know what I'm talking about, being around certain folks, I try to exit left, exit right. You know what I'm talking about? But that's about it, man. Ain't nothing to complain about. Folks pulling up on the restaurant, folks pulling up to the business, folks pulling up to the church. The church is growing. What else? Counseling business is growing. Like, man, I ain't got nothing to complain about, man. I just need to make sure I don't make no rookie mistakes. And on top of that, I didn't realize, fam, your boy done got down to a 40 regular with no Ozempic. I don't fool with that. 40 regular. And you know what I did, fam? I just started walking and moving a little bit more instead of sitting down every day, all day, running business. So other than that, no complaints, man. We good.
Did
Copacetic.
Vinci try to wear petites around here, y'all? You know what I'm saying? He wearing petite clothes. You know what I'm saying? When you go buy a
Man,
suit, they got regular, they got tall, they got big, and they got petite. Benji
man,
wears a 40 petite.
man, my doctor was like, Benji, you're 210 pounds. This was like November. It's like you're 210 pounds. Your levels is good. You straight. Your blood sugar, your blood, everything's good. But we need you down about 30 pounds. I was like, what? It's like, wait a minute. Like that's once that's like 170. Like nah, I can't fool with that. You know what I'm talking about? And then all of a sudden, boom, started at the restaurant, and then your boys moving all day, all day, all day, all day. And man, it just fell off.
And that's
I was
what's
like,
up.
all right. I was
Cause
like, all right.
Cause at least we know you're not eating up the profit.
Hey, some other folks, I listen, I ain't gonna say no, but some folks, you know what I'm saying? Big backs be doing too much. But we're good, man. Ain't nothing to complain about, nothing to trip about. Money's good, life is good, folks is good, kids is good, G baby good, all of that. Nothing to
G
complain about.
babies. G
Babies,
babies.
yeah. My little G baby got she holding a bottle now. You know what I'm talking about? She holding a
Yeah.
joint. So she
Yeah.
she progressing. Even
Time
with her
flying,
little,
man. Time
yeah,
flying.
that
That's
big
what's
old
up,
head
man.
she got. So it's all good.
This
What's up with
guy,
you, man? What's up with you,
man,
man?
man,
You always checking on us. What's up with your boy though? He down there in the side. What's up with it?
everything's lovely, man. The weather's lovely here. You know what I'm saying? So, yesterday I got a chance to actually hand wash my car for the first time in a long time. Like, there's nothing like hand washing your car, man. Taking care of
Facts.
it, putting the right chemicals on it. You know what I'm saying, to make sure it maintain that shine and that good ceramic. You know what I'm saying, coating the
Yes, sir.
the shield off this hot Texas sun. So, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying, the car stay looking good for years to come. So that's what I did, man. I accomplished a lot yesterday, man. I cooked some red beans and rice. You know what I'm
What?
saying? Yeah.
With
You
the
know what I'm saying?
cornbread?
Yeah, with the cornbread. I did hot honey cornbread this week. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I put together some stuff, man. I got some stuff on the menu this week, man. Just trying to be consistent, man. And you know what? Trying to make sure that I cook at the crib more than
Mhm.
all this eating out and making moves. Cause you know what I'm saying? That's what turned you into a big back, all that eating out.
I can't lie. That is very true. But
Yeah.
when you got a metabolism like mine, you can't sit down. You get what I'm saying? Like if you sit down, it sits on you.
Yeah.
Like and you
Well,
so
when you your height, a little weight looks like a lot. Like for
Yeah.
real, like not trying to be funny, but it does. Like
No,
a
it's
little
for
weight
real.
looks like a lot. So
For real.
you
It's
know what
for
I'm
real.
saying. So you got to be careful when you different body shapes and different heights. You know what I'm saying. You just gotta eat for your diet. And I'm gonna say this before we get into the topic. That's what I'm going to do this week, man. I'm going to test my blood to see my blood type and start eating based on my blood
According to
type,
your blood
man.
type. Yeah.
So I'm going to try that out and see how that makes me feel. Just trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, more healthy ways to progress in life. You know what I'm saying? Your boy be 46 next month. So, you
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? Just trying to make sure I stay healthy,
He
man.
getting old. It's all right. But see,
Hey,
that's what I did. That's why I
getting
don't eat pork.
older, getting older. You know what I'm saying? So, you
Dirt.
know what I'm saying? It's
Dirt.
it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? You're still old. You know what I'm saying? It's all right though. It's all right.
I
You all
mean,
right. You
yeah, to
straight.
some little kids out there, I am old.
You OG, you grab you sup. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Facts,
You know,
all
they'll
that.
call you out in a minute. You'll be like you
Facts.
little 20-year-old kid, something, what's going on? I'm like, wait a
Hey,
minute,
I
bro.
am on. I ain't
I
gonna
mean,
deny it. I am.
I was in denial for a little while.
Yeah,
I,
you
I,
was.
I was in denial. I had to realize, ooh, your boy, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
all right though. It's all right
Yeah.
there. It's all right.
Facts. It's a blessing. All right, let's jump into the topic for today, man. February is Black History Month, so we're on a journey to celebrate with the episodes devoted to Black classic movies all month long.
Yeah.
We didn't hit a few different ones. We had the hood movies, we had the
Mhm.
love stories. We you know what I'm saying? We didn't talked about a lot of great movies over the past few weeks. This is the fourth installment of this series, and the last episode of this series is Black Power Classics. You know,
Yeah.
some of those movies that you looked at and it inspired you or that showed you some pieces of history that you may not have known or been familiar with. And we're gonna get into those today, man, because we got to talk about that. That's what Black History Month is pretty much predicated upon, just celebrating, you know what I'm saying, our history, our some of our struggles to, display those things for our children and remind us, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
where we come from. But I think the one of the biggest things is for this generation of kids to kind of see some of this stuff too. We're gonna talk about that because I
Okay.
don't think that they're seeing it enough.
But
All right.
before we rock too further, we did need to mention and send our condolences to Reverend Jesse Jackson's family.
Oh yes,
Yes, sir.
definitely. With him passing away this month, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of ironic that he's such a big part of the Black History, you know what I'm saying, month and the history of us and our struggles throughout the
Mhm.
years. Now, there were some controversial things that people pointed out. We ain't gonna get
Right.
into all that, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Man
everybody,
gone now.
yeah,
He gone now. Yeah.
everybody's life is worth celebrating, you know what I'm saying? And he is definitely one of those people who we should celebrate his accomplishments and the things that he was able to push forward throughout his life. So,
Facts.
shout out to his family, you know what I'm saying, praying for them and condolences to everybody that's mourning his death.
Yeah.
All right. So this week we're closing out the series with Black Power Classics. According to my Facebook post, here is the list of
Mm-hmm.
some of the movies that people listed as their top three. So I'm gonna run these lists down. So again, if you've been watching, you already know we're gonna ask you for your top three Black Power classics. So if you don't have a list, maybe some of these can make your top three. All right, here we
Okay.
go. We got number one. Well, I ain't gonna say number one on the list, but the first one up, Roots.
Okay.
Very, very heavy movie, right? A
Heavy.
lot of us have seen it. If you grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you probably watched it at home, if not at school, because you know what I'm saying, it was like a rite of passage. You had to watch Roots. If you was black, you
Right.
had to watch it. All
Right.
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 So we got Judas and the Black Messiah. We got
I
the
like
Black
that one.
Klansman. We got Do the Right Thing. We got
Mm-hmm.
12 Years a Slave. We
Mm-hmm.
got Django. We got The Color
Mm-hmm.
Purple. We got Glory, Rosewood, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. We got Higher Learning, Boys in the
Mm-hmm.
Hood, Boycott, The Woman King, Hoodlum, and Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
just to name a few. I'm pretty sure that you all can add to that list. So if we missed your movie or something that's in your top three, or something that's in your top list of movies, let us know in the comments what we missed so we can add it to our list and we can talk about some of those movies. But before we get too far, I just want to let you all know that some of these movies entertain you, right? Some of
Right.
these movies expose you. Some of these movies change how you see yourself because of the struggles that go on in these movies, and you can see how they affected your past, and what I'm saying,
Right.
your parents, your grandparents. But tonight ain't about comfort, y'all. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Black power on the screen isn't about anger, it's about awareness. And that's what
Right.
these movies were, made to do, to make us aware. So let's start here with what's the first Black Power film that actually kind of shook your foundation per se. You know what I'm saying? Got your attention. Benji, what's the first Black Power movie that you saw that like, man, this is powerful and you really felt something?
Well, the first one would be Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
That would be the first one. But if I was to kind of go to the one that I really, really dug was the Malcolm X movie. Because as you get into who he was, that was actually how I was introduced to Malcolm X because of the movie.
Mm.
And so that kind of made me like, oh, let me actually check into him. And then when you look more into his story, you see the transition and the changes and the things that he stood for. And so that was like my major one. And plus Denzel played it. I mean, so it was like, oh, okay, let's check this out. So I think he represented that well. And that was the first one to me. But the first one off the top of my head would be Do the Right Thing, because that one just stood out for me the most.
Okay. Shout out to Farrah. She's in the comments. She said Mahogany, the Malcolm X. Okay, got those movies on the list.
Facts.
Malcolm X, I might be wrong here, but Malcolm X, I feel like we're gonna see that movie a lot. We're gonna hear about
Yeah.
that movie a lot, especially for people our age,
Right.
because that was such a big key part for our childhood and for our teenage years. That movie in general, was a big part of that and our learning. And it's one of those movies where we quoted a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And we remember a lot of the scenes. So yeah. So definitely Malcolm X is gonna keep coming up. I think the first movie before Malcolm X that really struck a chord with me was School Days.
Yeah.
School
That was
Days
good for
struck a
me.
chord with me because I come from a big family of HBCU grads, so it was such a powerful movie. I found it
Mhm.
entertaining, but really didn't truly understand the full weight of that movie as a kid, as well as I did when in my adulthood. But being an HBCU grad myself, School
Right.
Days means something way different now. But as a kid, it inspired me to want to, what I'm saying, follow that lineage of HBCU grads in my family. So I was destined from a kid to attend the HBCU and graduate from HBCU. So I mean, I didn't deviate from that. Like that was my plan, and that's what I followed through with.
And that's actually pretty dope because I didn't get a chance, like, and I mentioned this before, I didn't get a chance to really dig into the HBCU thing. I didn't understand the significance, in School Days and movies like that kind of introduced me even to the idea. So that's why those are pretty dope. Of course, when you're dealing with the Cosby Show and you start seeing the Hillman and you start seeing all of those types of things, you're like, oh, you get what I'm saying? Middle Tennessee State and all of that type of stuff. It just opened your eyes up to a whole different world, which was crazy because I see you. I see
Yeah,
you. I
yeah,
see you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see you. Texas Southern and all of that.
And
Like
Hillman, you know what I'm saying? A real
what
school and a fake
right.
school.
Without all of that, like those experiences, we never would have it just never crossed my mind before. But shout out to the creators of those times who actually put on and put those HBCUs on. So shout out to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I know we're not talking about TV shows, but Different World was
Yeah,
definitely a big part of, what I'm saying, our childhood too, and watching that.
facts.
And along with School Days kind of went hand in hand in
Right.
inspiring us to, what I'm saying, attend HBCUs or at least find out more about them before we
Facts.
got to that point. Because I think people have a misnomer about a lot of stuff. And I just put it to them like this. When you talk about going to colleges, all colleges afford you an education, but the different types of colleges offer you a different experience.
Yes.
Right. And when you go to a HBCU, it's going to offer you a totally different experience than going to any other school is going to offer you. So, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And it's not for everybody. Everybody can't function in that environment, right? I don't
Right.
care what race you are, what background you come from. Everybody can't function there. But it isn't about the race, because there are a bunch of different races at HBCUs.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, or people who haven't ever attended one. You're not going to go there and just see all black people, and you're not
Right.
going to see any other races. There are other races there. So
Facts.
other people can function in those environments, but it's definitely not for everybody. And on the other side, when you go to these other colleges and universities, that's not for everybody either. So
Right.
but we'll get more into that as we talk about the conversation. But
Facts.
but yeah. So school days was definitely a big part of my childhood, and definitely inspired me to move forward in life and my education and be on point, because I wanted to attend an HBCU someday.
Yeah.
And I did that and graduated.
Facts. Shout out to PV.
Yeah, Prairie View A&M, Paul Quinn College, you know what I'm saying, my alumni, you know what I'm saying? So, man, yeah, I mean, just so many fond memories on those yards to those schools, so many great people I met, you know what I'm saying? So whatever HBCU you went to, the experience was different. And the thing I love with being able to visit different HBCUs, as I went on kind of like a little tour when I was the Student Government Association president of my school. I went to a lot of these different HBCUs and visited their campuses. Man, nothing but love and great experiences everywhere you went. So it's like,
Right.
even though you're not from there and that's not your stomping grounds, it's not your yard, you know what I'm saying? Like, you felt the love when you came there, like you weren't a stranger. So, you know what I'm saying? That's that feeling that people kind of have to, you know what I'm saying, experience when you at a HBCU campus.
Yeah. I wish I would experience it, but I will real soon, because music producing school, I'll be going to HBCU. So it'll be
Yeah,
dope.
for sure. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to get you to one of these HBCU homecomings so you can really experience, you know what I'm saying, that good stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So those movies definitely inspired me growing up and continue to inspire me now, but are these films necessary? Like the films that we named, are they still necessary today? Benji, what do you feel? Are those films still necessary?
I would say yeah, because the content that is in them for the generation that's coming up, like we're in a space now where Black history, well, actually we've been there for a long time, where our history is like pushed down. You get what I'm saying? And I believe personally that's because it's to lower the self-esteem. And so I really believe that, because when you find out you come from such greatness, it changes your mindset. But these movies are, if our young people get an opportunity to look back into the archives, to the files, and it's mentioned, you'll see these movies, and it'll just enlighten you, because it did for us as kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, we were young bucks, 10, 12, 15, whatever it was, years old, and we saw these flicks, and they was like, oh, same way for me with Malcolm X. Like, I hadn't read books or anything like that on him. So when the film came out in 92 and I got an opportunity to see it, it just gave me a totally different insight on our history. Because again, thinking Black Panthers, they were promoted as kind of evil by the FBI and all of that type of stuff, and the Muslim folks and the this and the that. So we looked at them sideways because we thought one concept. And then you come to find out, oh, that's actually not how it was. So I believe there it still are, because the kids that are coming up, once they get an opportunity to see some of these films, they'll be able to kind of put their own ideas and thoughts out there to them. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it's absolutely necessary now more than ever, because you know what I'm saying, our history is slowly being erased, like you said, pushed to the side.
right,
They're trying to minimize it.
facts.
And they are trying to, remove it from classes, textbooks, things of that
Hmm.
nature. Um a lot of these kids don't think that slavery actually existed. Like I heard
Right.
some kids talk about slavery as if it was something that they say happened. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But did it really happen? I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't believe that slavery, or you're questioning if slavery actually happened,
Actually
actually
existed. Yeah.
occurred.
And that's
Yeah.
probably intentional.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so these kids need to understand their history, where they came from. Saying the people, like they used to tell us, the people that we stand on the shoulders of giants, right?
Facts.
We see as far as we see, because we stand on the shoulders of people, many giants that came before us, in order for us to be able to do the things we're doing. The fact that we're sitting here right now, talking about this on a platform, somebody had to come before us to allow us the ability and the opportunity to do this.
Facts.
So, I think it's up to us too, as the parents, to make sure that we do it, because can't depend on the school system to do it. Can't depend on others to do it. You have to do it at home. So, I'm
Facts.
saying, every now and again, have a movie night. I know y'all busy. Y'all got schedules. Y'all playing AAU. Y'all doing all these wonderful things in life. But take time to watch movies with your kids like we used to. You know what I'm saying? We ain't saying you got to be in there 6, 7, 8 hours, no movie marathon, but just pick one movie, right?
Fact.
Maybe once a month, pick a movie. You do that once a month. That's 12 movies that you can knock out in a year, and you can educate your children on the things that were important to you, and maybe through that they can understand you more, right?
Facts.
Because when
Facts.
we refer to things like movies and ideas that we have, sometimes they just think we just pull this stuff out of thin air.
Yeah,
Right.
the education that comes with it is important for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, nah, we learned this from watching movies that were educational, from reading books that were educational, not just entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's with a lot of stuff, man. Even with music, when we were growing up, a lot of the music was educational
Right.
and
Fight the
entertaining.
power.
It was enlightening. Now,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just club music. It's just pretty much club music across the board. Every now and again, you'll see an artist, come with some actual, as we say, substance, something that isn't just something for you to twerk to, you know what I'm saying? I get twerked on to, but,
Right.
I think we're missing that. I think we're missing the education piece. But you know what? You keep
Don't
watching.
teach my niggers to read.
You
It's
keep
real.
watching the fire session. We're gonna educate you. We're gonna give you
Fact.
some stuff, you know what I'm saying, to go along with the entertainment. We want to laugh and cut up and have fun, but we always gonna offer something to teach you something every episode of this show. We can expose you to new things all the time. So stay tuned.
Yeah, facts.
All right. So now it's time to hear your top three.
Yeah.
In this Black Power Classics category. We have, gone back and forth over the past couple of weeks. So since everybody else has gone first and I went first the first episode, I'm gonna go first today. It's in a
All right. Let's
rotation
do it.
and it's my turn. All right. So each of you in the audience, y'all watching, y'all go ahead and throw your top three in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And so we can see your list. But here's my list, man. It was hard, and I went back and forth a little bit, but here's my top three in order. My number one movie
Mm-hmm.
is School Days.
Okay.
All right. So number two on the list, Malcolm X.
Okay.
Number three is gonna be one that I know a lot of people don't have in their top three. It's a movie called Higher Learning.
Yeah.
Higher Learning,
Good
very,
flick.
very dope
Cube
movie.
in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Q, Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes, Omar Epps, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, Tyra Banks, a star-studded cast.
Right.
Great movie. My honorable mention is a movie called Panther, not Black Panther, but a movie called Panther that came out in 1995. Very, very dope movie, and the soundtrack might be better than the movie. I mean, I'm
Ah.
just saying, look up that soundtrack fire. All right. And of course, the movie Roots. And one last one on my honorable mention is The Color Purple. The Color Purple was a big part of my childhood. My sisters watched The Color Purple probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
So yeah, we could quote that movie word for word, line for line for the most part. But But yeah, that's my top 3. And I gotta do this real quick. I gotta do this
Till
real
you
quick.
do right by me. Till you do right by me.
Man, I gotta do this real quick though. Shout out to my moms, man. When I talk about this list, you know, Malcolm X is number 2 on my list, but shout out to my mom for giving me the actual book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley, as a kid, and making sure I read that book and understood it. We talked about it. I think one of her coworkers gave it to her and told her, "Hey, have your son read this." And I read it, man, and it changed my whole perspective as a kid on, you know, on the people who came before me, number one, but Malcolm X. And I understood why my grandmother was so adamant about, you know, certain things and the way I carried myself and the way I spoke. You know, some people have an argument about that and, you know, talk about, you know, people being accepted in certain rooms and things like that and your intelligence. But that book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X, sparked a lot of ideas in my young brain
Right.
that were able to propel me forward, man. And shout out to her for putting that in my life early, man. And then when I saw the movie, it made sense, even though it's not,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, a direct
Direct,
adaptation of
yeah.
that.
It's some missing pieces, yeah.
I was able to see the visual representation of a lot of things that I read in a book. And I think that's another thing that these kids miss out on is reading a book and then
Yeah.
actually going to see the movie after you read the book so you can kind of put it together. And I mean it creates a whole new world of vision for you and education piece.
Well, some folks don't like to read, but I would agree because now you can get the visual and then you can read, and it just kind of opens up things for you. But it's a tough thing, man. We're trying to get folks to read nowadays. It's tough.
Facts. All right. Benji Banks, the man, the brand, top 3, my guy.
Honorable mention. I'm going to start with first. It's going to be Malcolm X. Dope flick, dope movie. Just I mean, off the charts, super dope. I loved it. There's not one piece in it I don't like. Get your hands out of my pocket.
Get your hand out of my pocket!
It was kind of crazy when you heard it, but when I saw it, trying to understand it and all, it was like kind of crazy. Like what? Like what's going on? So it sparked a lot of ideas and thoughts in me, and so that's my honorable mention.
But hold on, bro. Now we go. Hold on, dude. The fact that you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is gonna sound crazy, but I don't know if you remember this because
Mm-hmm.
we was in class together around this
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we used to sit in class and yelled at
Yeah.
randomly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
Get your hands out of my pocket, Nick. Yeah. See,
Yo.
those little pieces of the movie when we were kids were playful, fun, but it sparked like this idea. And truth be told, the fact that it was a true story makes it even crazier. But again,
Yeah.
processing it at that young age, but it left such a delible mark on us because of the little pieces in it that kind of captured our minds. And just a dope movie all around, learning his life, learning about him as you get older and you start learning that he was killed right in front of his babies, his wife. And I believe his wife was pregnant at the time. And there was just a whole bunch going on. So but shout out to his words because they still hold heavy weight today.
Yep.
And the only thing with the movie is that it just left out some pieces that were very, I think was super, super, super important. But overall, one of the best movies that came out. My number one is Do the Right Thing. And the reason why Do the Right Thing is because when I think of movies that left like just this mark on me, because it was what was going on in the hood. Like we knew what was going on, like Malcolm X kind of seemed like it was a bigger view. But like for stuff that was going on in the hood, it just kind of you're like, oh, this happened. It just had a lot of cultural stuff in it. Malcolm X, we had to kind of dig into and figure out a lot more. With Do the Right Thing, it just held a lot of weight because it was like, and I said this last week as well, so much relatable stuff from you know, the boom box. Like we
So,
we weren't all like running around, you know what I'm saying, reading Black Power books and all of that type of stuff. But we were around the corner playing Fight the Power with our boom box. We all wanted to be Radio Raheem to a degree. We wanted our systems to bump. You know, Raheem got the, you know what I'm saying, the boom box, but we got in our car and we wanted it to bump. You know what I'm saying? It just had a lot of cultural stuff in it. And it just felt like it was home because of a lot of stuff that took place, from the uncles on the corner talking and cussing each other out and having fun. It just showed life that kind of resonated with us, that was already taking place. You get what I'm saying? So my number one is definitely Do the Right Thing. And I got a Sip and Paint coming up with that theme too. So that's gonna be super dope. My second on the list is Django.
mm,
And the reason Django is on this list for me and number two is because I'm of the idea that I get really tired of hearing the slave, you know, that we come from slaves, we were slaves, and we were beaten, and we was this and we was that. I mean, man, I hate that part. So to see somebody fight back was like, yeah, was like super dope to me. And so I love that flick because of the you know, our folks overcoming and somebody being kind of that superhero type of thing. You know what I'm talking about? And then my next one is 12 Years a Slave.
mm.
Uh, I dig that movie, man, because it's a lot that you got to endure to kind of break this stigma that was out there. And I love 12 Years a Slave, Nat Turner, and all of that. Man, it was amazing, man, to see some of these flicks, some of these movies that I had never heard of. Like, I never knew some of these stories. And I think that plays a huge weight for me, because when I learn something new, hear something new, and then it's super dope, it just kind of gives me a different feel. So I dig those.
All right. All right. All right. So I think you kind of, my next question, I think you already answered it, was why is your top movie number one on your list?
Right.
You kind of broke that down, but I want to explain to people why School Daze is number one on my list. Not only
Right.
because I come from a long line of HBCU grads, but I want to break down to you the what I learned about the movie School Daze.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's Daze, it's not DAYS, it's
DAZE.
DAZE. So the word daze is defined as a temporary mental state characterized by confusion, stupor, or lack of clear thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Often caused by physical blows, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
concussion, severe shock, emotional distress, or extreme fatigue. So when you say school days, right? Put it together, like they at school, they in the days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the movie, though, the final scene is the main character, Dap, and he's running around screaming, "Wake up!"
Wake up. Right.
Right. So as a kid, we just see this guy running around the campus, waking everybody up. You see people coming out of their dorms, walking up with pajamas on, rubbing their eyes. They sleepy. They in a daze. They've been in a daze this whole time because too often, you go into situations and you have fun and you're entertained, but you forgot why you're there.
Right.
And I think that's part of what that movie was about. Don't forget why you're here. You know what I'm saying? You're here to have fun and enjoy yourself, but you're here to learn, right? So
Facts.
that was
Facts.
one part of it. But also at the end of the movie, when he's running around screaming, "Wake up," he's waking up the whole campus, hence
Right.
the term woke. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, in present years that people have been saying woke, that's all that means, man, is that you woke up from that daze, right?
Right.
Now you're educated, now you know better, so you're expected to do better. And I believe that's where the word woke, you know what I'm saying, in the way that we use it now, stem from that movie and that concept. So, but this movie inspired me definitely to want to attend the HBCU, as I stated before, along with my family history. So again, shout out to the grads of Paul Quinn College and Prairie View A&M University here in Texas. Both of them are big parts of my family history and my life. And without them, I wouldn't be the man who I am today.
I mean, it's amazing, man, how life, these movies, how relevant they could be for us as we watch them, and how they kind of shape us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Our mental makeup, because
Facts.
there's still some Negroes in the days.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Facts.
I
How could you watch a movie like that and then not come out with some sort of concept of change or a thought process? So it's kind of crazy, but it
well,
happens.
but you know what? For a lot of movies like that, it's not realistic to a lot of these kids,
Right.
right?
Facts.
First and foremost, because they don't see the people that they see in the movie. They don't
Right.
see, you know what I'm saying, graduates. They don't see professionals, and they don't see successful people come to their schools anymore. You remember when we were younger, we used to have career
Yeah.
day,
Right.
right? Shout out to JJ Rhodes in South Dallas here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They many years ago, I was going to their career days yearly, right? And it was amazing to go to their career days and talk to those kids and and be able to have conversations with them because, you know, they the questions they have, but also it's like, man, why did you come here? Like kids would ask, why did you come here? Like, what made you want to come here today for us to talk
Right.
to us? And it's like, man, not too long ago, I was sitting in the school similar to yours, right?
Right.
And we had people come to visit us and talk to us about careers. So, I think that type of stuff is lost. The big brother, big sister program lost. Like people just don't have time for that stuff and pouring back into to the community, not only their own kids, but kids that don't have mentors, kids that don't have help. Like I think that's another thing that's lost in all of this. So we got to get back to where we are making time to contribute back to the communities that birthed us, that raised us, that made us successful. Because without that, you know what I'm saying, some of these kids that are there now are not going to have those experiences, they're not going to have those opportunities because they don't see it.
Yeah. And a lot of social media is kind of taking over that space for a lot of people. They can see it on their
Well,
social media, but
but when you can see
people
it in
pouring
front of you,
funding into that is people pouring funding into that. It seems like they just not interested in it anymore.
well, but you know what? Growing up, we had that saying, if you see it, you can be it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I mean, like, if you see somebody in front of you that's a professional football player, albeit, we kind of push kids not to think about it in that way because everybody wants to be a professional athlete. But if you see them, you're more than likely to try to be it now because now
Right.
you can see a direct product that somebody actually made it, that you can actually stand in their presence, so that you actually know. But
Right.
what I also used to tell those kids that at the school is they have to understand that even if you want to be a professional football player, professional basketball player, professional, any athlete of any sort, your career time, you know what I'm saying? Even
Very
if you
short.
play 10 years, you're still going to be right at 30 years old when you're
Yeah.
done playing. So what are you going to do for the rest of your life? You
Facts.
have to look at that stuff.
Facts.
So so it's just conversations like that we got to keep having with our youth, man, and we just got to keep pouring in them because if we keep waiting on other people to do it, they ain't gonna do it, and our kids just gonna be lost, man. So we got to handle it ourselves.
That's a fact.
All right. So who's your favorite character in your top movie?
Mookie. Yo, it was hilarious. But I want to say Radio Raheem, I want
Okay.
to say was like the dude in there because the the mother. It's just so like I hadn't seen the movie in forever, and these are just punchlines that kind of hit because you're going to the Asian market and they don't understand nothing you saying, but they in the hood taking your black dollars, taking your money, and it's like they don't even understand you. They just here present taking your money and like turn the radio down. Nah, I ain't turning my radio down. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it was crazy. But yeah, Radio Raheem, because of course it's a sad piece to it. But I think we all have been in that space. People have been killed at the corner market. People have been killed down in Big Daddy's. South Dallas. You get what I'm saying? Like I done seen it. You get what I'm saying? So it was just interesting. But Radio Raheem takes the cake for me.
All right. So for me, School Days, my favorite character is Half Pint, aka played by Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Bro was just a typical college student trying to adjust to college life and level up, you know what I'm saying, as we all were trying to do when we hit the college campus. But he chose a different route. He joined a fraternity. And joining a fraternity is a way that a lot of guys go from irrelevant to celebrated on the college campus. And on top of that, Half Pint was freaking hilarious in the movie. Like he did some of the most desperate stuff. And you know what? When we're young, man, I think we all there at one point where we just are so desperate for the spotlight, desperate to be seen, desperate to be a part of the mix, like that we're willing to do whatever it takes almost to be a part of the in crowd. And so that's kind of what he did, man. That's kind of what, he took part in that. So Half Pint was a critical part of that also because Dap, which is his cousin, which is Lawrence Fishburne in the movie, was trying to, I guess educate him on being black, right? The black experience, trying to educate him on that piece. And Half Pint was like, nah, I'm just trying to level up.
Right.
I'm just trying to be the guy on campus. I don't care about all that stuff you talking about, all that black power, that pro-black stuff. I'm trying to be the man on the yard. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's that conflict of those two characters, but Half Pint was definitely my favorite character in that movie.
For sure. I can dig that. I got to go back and rewatch that movie because I haven't. Gosh, man, you realize I haven't seen a lot of these movies, man. I haven't seen them in a minute, and I don't even know if my kids have seen them.
I doubt it, man.
Yeah,
I doubt it. Most of our kids haven't seen them. I know my kids have seen some of them, but we're definitely gonna have to have some conversations because I gotta make sure, I've done a better job with my baby girl of making sure that she, tries to watch some of these movies. But with my boys as a whole, I need to get them to run down and try to get them to watch some of these movies to get their outlook, you know what I'm saying, on how they feel now that they've both been through college to HBCUs, kind of what was your experience? Was this close to your experience? And those type of conversations.
Facts. And I think that would be pretty dope. I think that's a good thing, man, to kind of, I got to do that myself. Pass some of these movies over to my kids, say, hey, watch these and tell me what you think. Give me like a progress report, a synopsis on what you think, and see where their head's at, where their mind is at.
Well, I think it's a good conversation piece, right? To watch those films and be able to sit there and have a conversation with them to see what thought processes they have, what they learned from it, if they were able to glean anything from it. And most importantly, if it's even realistic to them, because some of this stuff is so far removed, timestamp wise, they feel like it's unrealistic and it doesn't apply to them in today's time when it really does.
It really does.
But they just can't see it.
Because a lot of the stuff, it's hidden. It's in the redlining and the this and the that and the stealing your patents and all of that type of stuff. They don't think it's popping like that. But trust me, we ain't far removed from certain folks being, ill towards our skin. So we ain't far removed from it.
All right, so check this out. Could a film like Malcolm X be made in the same way today? You think they could rock with that? You think it'll get off the ground?
I don't think so, man. Like as much as I love the flick, as much as I love Malcolm, like I don't know. Maybe I got some blinders on a little bit. I wonder now if it was the same way, I don't know. But if they added some twist to it in terms of some new I want to say new, but some stuff that we didn't know per se. I think it might catch weight, but I don't think these kids, I don't think they're interested in stuff like that, man. Black power, black, pride, that type of thing, and speaking against and kicking against the system. Our kids seem like they more like going along with what's the system, so to speak, because they ain't trying to be pushed back. You get what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so, but I would hope it would, because that's a dope flick, man. It's a dope flick.
I think the movie could be made, but I wouldn't want to see it made because I think the original is just as meaningful today as it was then.
Facts.
I think if you look at it and you're looking at it to learn, to glean from it, to understand, you're gonna get the same effect.
Mhm.
But like you were mentioning, with our kids, I don't even blame our kids for not being, you know, in the same mind frame that some of us were when we were young because
Mhm.
we didn't push that upon them. Like we didn't
Right.
talk to them about that. So
Facts.
I blame us for not,
That's a fact.
passing that along. And it's time is not too far gone. We can still, educate them on things and have these conversations, but it's got to be now. Right.
That's a fact. You're very right about the fact that we didn't push that on them. We were steering away from that. Like we steered away from that because we didn't want them coming up that way. And
Yeah.
truth be told, you know what I'm saying? We kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff because we were just trying to shield them. We were just
Yeah.
trying to protect them. We didn't want them to see that. We don't want, like, I saw it all. Like, my brothers protected me from a lot of stuff, but man, like our kids experiencing racism at the level that it was in Malcolm's time, man, I don't know mentally if our kids can even handle that type of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, they just different, you know what I'm saying? But like I
Right,
said again, it's just the way we raised them in our generation, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, if you're gonna blame anybody for anything that they didn't get, gotta blame
right.
ourselves, right?
Facts.
All right,
Facts.
so I got another question. My next question is, are we more informed now or are we more divided? Because with all
Mm,
the information we know and all the resources that we have now, it seems that we're more sheepish, right?
right,
Because we do have social media now. Social media is predicated upon what? How many followers you have.
right,
And followers tend to, gravitate to whoever they're following, the way that that person thinks,
right,
the ideology that that person is, spewing, the content that they're putting out. These kids learn from that content. So whether that content is historically correct, grammatically correct, or anything, that's how these kids are learning. So I think we are informed, but not on the important things that we should be at all times. And I also think we're more divided than we've ever been.
I would say 100% both informed and very much divided.
Yep.
'Cause you can't get Negroes to chew the same bubble gum nowadays.
Sadly not.
You can't get
Sadly
you
not.
like everybody wants to be an island to themselves and an individual. And so that's why I was thinking earlier the Malcolm X type of flicks and stuff like that, because stuff like that, people don't really believe in leadership like that. You get what I'm saying? Like they want to be the leader. They don't want to follow nobody in a lot of cases. So yeah, like I ain't following you. I want to do it on my own. So
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. I mean, that's a good attitude to have, you know what I'm
right,
saying? But you have to be educated in order to be a good leader. And
man.
that's the thing. Education and experience make good leaders. You know what I'm
And
saying?
the beauty of a Malcolm is you knew he was well studied.
Yeah,
You knew
of
he was
course.
well read. He was well versed. He was dignified. He comes from the streets, but he was street savvy and he was book smart. That's a dangerous individual right there. So
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say this and we'll move on to the next question. But when it comes to something that you just mentioned too, I think a lot of the people who are great leaders and who are, people that I tend to listen to a little bit more are the people who live that life and change from it.
right,
Right. So when I watch Malcolm X, it's believable to me because I saw where he came from and
hmm
where he ended up. Right.
right,
And that was also motivating because, it speaks to everybody, no matter where you are, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can always change. You can always transform into a better form of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So,
right,
that's that motivation from that.
right.
All right. So Do you feel like modern films focus more on celebration than resistance?
Yeah, everything. I think strategically, if I focus more on, that, yeah, I kind of lower people's expectations a little bit. It's kind of like an army ad. Like they don't show you all the stuff you finna go through. They just tell you about the benefits of joining the army. So
Facts.
don't let me tell you about like even a beer commercial, right? They don't show you as a drunk losing all your money on the side of the corner. You know what I'm saying? You don't lost everything. They just show you the idea of having fun, having a brew. That's what the commercial pushes because that's marketing. So I believe ultimately it's strategic, very strategic marketing wise to kind of push that agenda. So
Yeah, and I also feel like these films soften the truth.
mhm,
Um, these days, even the films that we do have that are considered, black power films or documentaries. Some of them are really powerful and truthful, and then there are
right,
others who kind of skirt around certain things because they want to get the stamp of approval,
right,
right? To put this information out there. But it's like, is it really worth putting out there if you're not going to include the right information?
right.
Like it's kind of it's like you put it out there, but it missed the point. Like people gonna miss the actual point in which they should be getting from the actual content.
Will I win an Oscar for it if I lie about it a little bit, throw a little bit of, whatever in there, and I win an Oscar? Folks don't care.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at too when we were talking about these movies, and especially now we call that
Mhm.
marketable activism.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Marketable activism.
Is it marketable, right? We can
Right.
have activism, but is it marketable? Like, for instance, Django.
Right.
Django was marketable activism, right? A lot of people didn't even realize the activism that was in that movie,
Right.
but it was marketable. So people loved it and people fell in love with it and it got high ratings and things of this nature and people watched it, but it was marketable, main
Facts.
thing. And it had
And
it had big
go ahead.
name in it. It had big
Facts.
names in it. So
Facts. And on top of that, it showed the freedom to be able to say the N word.
well,
And we
yeah.
all know, to see a white man on a big screen saying the N word as many times that was said there, boy, it was like, what in the world? But we all know they've been saying it. So yeah, it was quite interesting.
Yeah, and I think the one of the main things is too that Hollywood is afraid of an unapologetic black leadership type of
Oh,
movie.
facts. The world is
Um,
scared of that.
like I think that the movie Malcolm X could be made, but I also feel like that there would have to be too many hoops for somebody to jump through in order to
Mhm.
complete that project that they might not even want to deal with that all of the red tape that it would take to make it.
Oh, facts. Because there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't get passed through. Like we're in a different space now. In the 90s, there was a little bit more, freedom for, you to create, a little bit. And plus Spike Lee was kind of, he was kind of independent, so to speak. So nowadays, man, they'll put you'll be an underground rapper
Yeah.
in the film industry. Try to do that, you have to put it out on YouTube or something like that because you probably wouldn't get the funding, or you probably wouldn't get it passed. You see how Sinners alone had so much hell they didn't even want to pass that movie through.
Yeah, and then they went and killed everything.
Facts,
So,
facts.
but I think another thing to point out too is I think we're more comfortable with Black Joy now than Resistance. We saw the Resistance, and so many people made a big deal out of, okay, we see the Resistance, but can we show some people having a good time? Can we
Right,
show some people, you know what I'm saying, actually, like you said, with Django actually being the superhero, actually
right,
being the person who wins?
right.
Instead of being downtrodden. And that's cool, but you have to show both sides. Life is about a
Facts,
duality, right? Life is about
facts,
balance, right? You got to show, you're going to show the good stuff, you're going to show the happy times, but you want to show why we can have happy times because
facts.
some of
We
these kids don't
celebrating for a
understand.
purpose.
yeah, some of these kids don't understand why we're able to have the things that we have and put on certain clothes and buy Jordans and do all this fancy stuff because somebody came before us that made sacrifices that allowed us these opportunities again. So we need to, educate these kids on, who came before them. Because you know what I thought about not too long ago, and I think we may have talked about this on the show a little bit on one of the episodes. One day, you're just going to be a name.
That's a fact.
Your great grandkids won't know you. They will only know you from pictures, from video. Luckily for us, we got over 200 episodes of the Fire Session, so they'll be able to go to YouTube and check those out
Facts.
and see us that we existed. But not everybody has things like that where they put a stamp on this earth. So that's why it's important to, do things to mark that you actually existed, because 100 years from now, somebody's going to be driving that car that you have, or it's going to be crushed in a car yard somewhere. Somebody's gonna be living in the house you living in. Somebody's gonna be, wearing the clothes you wearing, all that type of stuff. You won't exist for a
Facts.
lot for a lot of people,
You'll be
right?
a name, right?
You'll be a name. So, but what does that name mean?
Right.
Right? When people say that name, that's why people are so big on the last names too. But again, all of this stuff comes from our past, right? What sacrifices were made before us to even make this stuff possible. So again, educate the youth is what we got to do.
Facts. I would agree. Because yeah,
All right.
everything ain't about partying.
Nah,
It's shaking you up. That is a fact.
facts. All right. So can a movie that's made similar, like I guess Black Panther, spark real world change?
I think people are at a point where they don't really even want that struggle, that fight. I think people are at a space to where they just, like you said earlier, just the joyous part. They just want to live life. They got enough struggles. They trying to pay bills. They're trying to do X, Y. They ain't even really trying to. They're trying to go to school. They're trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to party a little bit. They ain't really trying to. They got enough struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Some
They're
of them
trying to
eat too
get it.
much. They ain't no
Yeah,
struggle. And back big.
facts. You know what I'm saying? They just enjoying eating the foods that they want, doing whatever they want to do. They ain't really tripping off that. They trying to get them some. They're trying to get a piece, keep some peace, and hold a piece. You get what I'm saying? Like they just ain't in that. You get what I'm saying? Everybody trying to live in a mansion. Everybody trying to, you know what I'm saying, be their own island to themselves. So I don't really think that people are in that phase anymore.
All right.
Which is kind of shocking though, because if we ever have to have a revolution, some people are gonna be in trouble because they don't know how to do plant no vegetables, no fruits, like it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's easy though. All they gotta do is go to YouTube now.
In facts, but Negroes still don't like to read and follow directions.
All right. So let me ask you this question. So your top film, Do the Right Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could you make that movie today?
Oh yeah, for a fact, yes, because it's still going on in the hoods today. The Asian markets is still there. We ain't got the boom box on our shoulders, but we got the car drive by with the booming system. We still got the subwoofers in the ride. You know what I'm saying? We still driving around. There's still Italian markets. There's still places in the hood that's still profiting off of the black dollar. I think you could easily switch up the characters. There's the white dude that lives in the hood, wearing a bird jersey. Like there's ways you could do it. You get what I'm saying? Like there's little nuances that you could change. But I think that movie would still be relevant in today's time. Because again, it's in the hood. Now unks are on ESPN talking on live TV compared to them being, you know what I'm saying, on the corner talking that smack, talking trash, talking about Tyson, talking about this, talking about that. They literally are on ESPN right now. So it would be so easy because it's just culturally, the cultural pieces that were in it, they haven't went nowhere. Like they're still in our hood today, in our spaces, in our time. it just looks different because now, you know, folks is dressed up with suits talking trash. You get what I'm saying? On major networks.
Yeah, I think that movie can be definitely remade. I would love to see a 2026, 27
Yes.
adaptation of Do the Right Thing
Fact.
with some of these new actors in Hollywood, some of these big names you can attach to it. I think that'd be a pretty dope remake. Now, I'm not a
I,
fan of remaking classics, but
right.
I think that one would definitely be a big time, what I'm saying, movie that could get some big push behind it. And of course Jordan's is still popping, so what I'm
Facts.
saying, like, it's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of elements of that movie that have not changed at all, so I think it
Right.
still be
Folks, you still
relevant.
can't step on you'll catch a two-piece still for stepping on somebody's J's nowadays because what they cost you 400-500.
Yeah,
You
but
know what
you
I'm
still,
saying?
there's still going to be some differences, because instead of wearing the baggy jeans in the movie, the dudes be walking around wearing skinny
With
jeans a
skinny
little bit.
jeans,
So
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
all right.
a few little nuances you got to change up, but overall, I think that flick could be remade for sure.
Facts, facts, facts. All right. So this is my last question, right?
Hmm.
Which film do you think should be considered the GOAT of all Black Power classic films
Oh
of all
man,
time?
of all time, which film?
If you could pick one.
If I could just pick one and just went with that, I would have to go Malcolm X. I would have to go Malcolm X. And again, I understand. Again, I understand. You know, my number one, the hood, the this, the that, the relatability. I think the Malcolm X flick just kind of points you in a different direction that I think is just super relevant. That I would, if I was to be like, want my kids to study somebody, watch something, look at something, it's just more educational to a degree. It makes you think a little bit more. It makes you look deeper into a lot of things, whether it be the Muslim religion, whether it be him, a white woman walking up to him and asking, "Can a white person, help you out in this movement?" And you get a Malcolm who would say, "You know what? Starting with your own people first." Like, there's just so many spaces in there that are super educational, super dope, and I think that would have to be the go for me. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Definitely Malcolm X. The only movie that I feel like could rival that,
Mhm.
and this would have to be, our generation and moving forward, because I know a lot of these younger kids still probably don't know anything about this movie, is Roots.
Yeah.
Roots takes forever to watch, don't get me wrong,
Uh,
because so many parts to it, but
right.
I think the educational aspect of that movie is paramount, and I think it would still be able to educate today, and I think it's up there. If it's not the greatest, it's up there. It's got to be top 5 for sure.
Facts. Facts.
For sure. All right, man. So before we roll out, Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Let the people know something, my guy.
I want to tell you about a guy by the name of John McAdoo. Hold on, Ken. I'm terrible. I forgot this brother's name. I'm scrolling through my feed because I'm finna John Oscar McAdoo. I came across this story about a man who created the technology for Xerox from 1965 to 1985. He created the technology for Xerox, but this is why I say we're not far removed from the hate, from the drama, from the systematic racism. This man had thousands of patents. Well, Xerox kindly removed his name from all of the business findings that he had for making the technology for Xerox. And I found it amazing. And this story came across my news feed, and I read about it, and I looked it up, and I researched it, and I thought that this was pretty crazy. that we have a guy, a brother who created photocopy and printing and all of that, and yet we have no idea who he is because his name was removed from the history. He sued Xerox and they stole his patent still. They basically kept his name with the money that they had and the money that they made. And when, you know, Xerox, billions upon billions of dollars, right? And they basically were able to push him out of Xerox's history with the technology, all because, you know, systematic racism. They didn't want a black man being the face of their company. And so they literally pushed him out. And I thought that that was interesting. So think of it, in this time, we still got all of these crazy little things, and people will be like, forget about that. Don't remember that stuff no more. You're barely 30 years removed from some of this stuff that's still going on. So I think it's important that we look back and we look at some of the things that will boost our self-esteem, because seeing this made me realize how intelligent our people are. And just because they only show the ones on TV that get locked up and that are in chains and that are killing and doing this and doing that, you're no different than anybody else. You get what I'm saying? Like, other cultures do the same thing, do the same stuff. There are brilliant people in our lineage and in our race. So keep being solid, man. Black folks, y'all amazing out there. All right? I don't care what nobody say. Y'all still a headache, but love you to the end of the world. All right. But y'all know where to find me, man. They can find you all over the place, man. If you need your hair, your wig, your locks done, we got an answer for that. Holla at your boy. If you need your belly filled, you know what I'm saying? You want your food, your soul food, we got you covered. Holla at your boy. If you want some counseling, man, holla at your boy. If you got a church, holla at your boy. You need a church, rather. Holla at your boy. If you got a singing voice, holla at your boy. I mean, we're just all over the place, all right? We're all over the web like a tarantula. If you need the dopest show out there, come holler at us on the Fire Session. We out there, man. You can't miss us. We just too fly to be missed. I'm just saying.
Facts. And before I do my closing, something that you just said is something that my I think my grandfather used to tell me this all the time. We have to
Mhm.
be aware of what you do and the accomplishments that you have in your lifetime, because one day you too will be Black history.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Facts.
facts. All
Facts.
right. So in closing, this episode wasn't just about nostalgia, y'all. It wasn't just about your favorite characters or who had the best lines in the movies that we talked about. It was about the truth, right?
Mhm.
Because these films like Malcolm X just didn't tell a story, they demanded accountability. The Color Purple just didn't show you pain, it showed you survival, right?
Right.
Panther didn't just portray a movement, it reminded us that movements require courage. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And the movie like Rosewood didn't just revisit history, it exposed what history tried to bury. You know what I'm saying? And as I always say, you know what I'm saying, we seeds, and when they bury seeds, guess what? We still grow. We still, you know what I'm saying, we rise, you know. So these films weren't all comfortable to watch. I get it. And I think that's kind of what we talked about. People don't want to see these films because they remind us of some uncomfortable moments. But they weren't designed to make everyone clap. They were designed to make us think. They were designed to make us remember and be inspired. And that's the power of Black cinema at its best. All these movies that we've talked about all months, these are powerful movies, whether they made you laugh, think, entertained you, they're powerful in their own right. It
Right.
it doesn't ask permission. It doesn't water down the truth. It doesn't shrink leadership to make it palatable. You know what I'm saying? So none of that stuff even matters. It reminds us that our stories are not just side notes to history. You know what I'm saying? We are part of history, not just Black history. We are part of the history of this country, period. Black power on screen isn't about anger. It's about awareness. It's about ownership. It's about refusing to forget who we are. So if these films made you uncomfortable, good. Growth
Right.
usually makes you uncomfortable. The real question isn't whether Hollywood will keep telling you these stories. The real
Mhm.
question is, will we keep watching them and sharing them with our younger generation, as we've stated
Facts.
many times on this episode? because we are the ones responsible for educating our own youth. So at the end of the day, if you take nothing else from this episode, if you take nothing else from this month of Black Power movies that we've talked, Black classic movies that we've talked about, remember this: the truth never expires.
Facts.
All right, y'all. So y'all already know you've been rocking with Trish Michelle, Benji Banks, and Big Ken. We are the Fire Session. All three of us, Fire Session. The fire doesn't stop here. Catch us on the next episode with more heat. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next session. We got some stuff. We got some big stuff coming, some interviews, all kinds of content coming this year, next month, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you keep tuning in. Also, head to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music to check us out on there too. Download some episodes, peruse the plays, get caught up on the episodes when you just riding around in your car, you at work, and you got your AirPods in or your earphones on, and you just want something to listen to. Check us out. We appreciate your support. Until next time, stay lit. It's the Fire Session. Peace.
Cereal with no Merc.
This guy.